You said that anxiety disorders are very common. Are there figures to tell us how prevalent they are in society?
Yes, Suhashini. Now, anxiety disorders are called the common cold of psychiatry. And the figures, well, we don't have figures for Sri Lanka because we haven't done any mass scale studies. But however, in countries where they've done it, it's about 15% of the population at any given time. Okay. Now, this means at any given time in a population, let's say the United States, 15% of people will be having an anxiety disorder. Note that, not anxiety, normal anxiety disorder. Okay. So that's a very high prevalence. And I presume that human beings are no different. So I think in Sri Lanka also we might have the same or even more because obviously our problems at the moment are more than perhaps the USA. But yeah, so we don't know, but it's definitely higher than possibly 15%.
Okay. So, Professor, if anxiety disorders are so common in society, in community, how does one recognize that they need help, and to whom should they refer themselves to in order to get help?
Yes, I suppose to understand, you will have to know what the symptoms are. So, because to recognize, obviously, you have to know that you are having it. So the symptoms are kind of, we divide it into two groups. One set of symptoms is mostly mental, it's in the mind. And the other set of symptoms are physical. So both together constitute what we call the syndrome of anxiety symptoms. So the mental symptoms are, of course, obviously the feeling of anxiety, which is the feeling of dread or anticipation that something bad is going to happen, even if you don't know what it is, like, you know. And then, of course, it's accompanied by other mental problems such as lack of concentration, distraction, and worry. Well, worry is another term for anxiety anyway. And then, of course, the physical symptoms are mostly mediated by as I said, the sympathetic nervous system. So your heart beats faster, you start sweating profusely, and you may have difficulty in breathing. Those are the common things. And that can last for some time and then pass off. And then, of course, you get other things like you may have loss of appetite during that period, and you will have loss of sleep. Now, to differentiate from a depression, where again you get sleep problems of anxiety are mostly difficult in falling asleep. Whereas in depressive disorder, you fall asleep but wake up very early in the morning and then can't get back to sleep. Anxiety, you can't get to sleep. So we call it early insomnia. In depression, it's called late insomnia. It's not a sharp dividing line, but generally these are kind of the differences. So if you get these things and you find that these problems are interfering significantly with our normal day-to-day functioning, then you may have an anxiety disorder. However, you must see the doctor because some physical conditions can mimic anxiety disorders. For example, if your thyroid is over-functioning, you can have sweating and your heartbeat racing. Or if you're asthmatic, you may get attacks of breathlessness, which are different to panic attacks. So a doctor can differentiate. And also if you have some problems in our heart and you have rhythm problems of your heart, that can lead to similar symptoms. So don't assume that it's anxiety. However, it's best to see a medical practitioner and get it sorted out. And once you know what the problem is, then we can deal with it.